Welcome to a brief video about the Urban League of Greater Oklahoma City and the expungement process. My name is Shawnee Neely, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Administration. I'm going to give you some background information on the Urban League, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lorenzo Banks. He's going to give you more details on the expungement process. So, the Urban League in Oklahoma City was founded in 1946. We are one of two of the oldest civil rights organizations in the United States. We were founded on the premise of helping people of color. So, our mission is to help African Americans, other minorities, and the poor to achieve social and economic equality. We do that by offering various services. We have education and youth programs, we have workforce programs, we help people start their own business, we have housing units that we rent to people, and also the expungement process, which is a part of our social justice department. Our current CEO is Dr. Valerie Thompson. She's been in the movement now for 30 years. Each year, we serve over 9,000 clients, and we couldn't do that without your support. So we want to thank you for your interest and your involvement in the Urban League because it helps us to continue to help other people year after year. So thank you. Well, now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lorenzo Banks. He's going to give you all the details you need to know about the expungement process.
Hi, my name is Lorenzo Banks, and I am the lead attorney for the Urban League of Greater Oklahoma City's Expungement Expo. And I am so excited to be here helping to give this presentation to explain the joys and the wonders of what it is to get an expungement here in the state of Oklahoma. So the first question that I usually answer is, hey, Lorenzo, what does it mean to get my record expunged? What it means to get your record expunged, at least in this state, is that you are having your record sealed from public view. I know, right? You've heard that means that, that I'm getting my record erased. No, that's not the case. It seals it from public view. It keeps people from being able to see it. And even though there may be some state agents or state agencies that maintain a record of your criminal case once it is expunged, your record will be sealed from the public view of individuals who are legally allowed to discriminate against you because of that criminal record. So we're talking about folks who might be employers, landlords, individuals or administrators at schools. These individuals will not be able to see your record and discriminate against you for that record once it's expunged. And the great thing about expungement law in the state of Oklahoma is that once you get the case expunged, you are legally able to tell people that case never happened. And the things or the events that led up to you being charged with that case, you are able to legally say that those things never happened. So we like expungements because it gives us an opportunity to kind of start things over, right? And so then the next question that I typically ask is, hey, Lorenzo, well, how much does that thing cost? That's a very good question. I'm going to give you a very good lawyer answer. It all depends. It all depends on a number of different factors. So first things first, for every expungement, you're going to have to pay some type of admin fees. What are admin fees, Lorenzo? These are the types of fees that are administrative fees that no matter what you do, no matter how you slice it, everyone is going to have to pay these fees to get their expungement completed. So one of the first things just comes off the top of the head is that you're going to have to file a petition in a court at a court clerk's office, depending upon which county that your case was filed in, right? You're going to have to file a petition for expungement in that county. There's a cost for that does not go in a lawyer's pocket. That goes to the state of Oklahoma, right? You're also going to have to pay that if you are successful with your expungement process. There are sealing fees that each of the agencies may charge you to seal your record with them. So maybe a local police department who has touched this case, you may have to pay them a fee to seal your case once your case has been expunged in court. You may have to pay the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, right, to seal your record with them. So that way, when people do look up your record in a public record search, that when they're sifting through those records and going to those agencies, that your records don't pop up within those agencies. These are integral and necessary costs to, in fact, get your record expunged. So not only that, you have admin fees, but you also typically have what I believe is just as necessary for an expungement is typically you got to have a lawyer help you. There are lawyer costs. Now you might be able to figure it out how to do it on your own. And for those people who can do that, more power to you. I salute you, right? But for the rest of us who typically don't know this type of information and don't have the time to research it like it would be necessary to get this done on your own, most of us need the assistance of a lawyer. And these lawyers cost money. How much do those lawyers cost, Lorenzo? I'm going to give you another lawyer answer. It all depends, right? It depends on one, who you hire, right? Some lawyers are more expensive than others. And also, some lawyers will tack on a fee if your case is particularly difficult, or if your case is way out in some county, far away from that lawyer's office, and that lawyer has to drive back and forth down the highway to go and handle your case at numerous different stages of the case. They may charge you some more money for that. Either way, those lawyers' costs are going to depend upon a number of different factors, and they may vary from lawyer to lawyer and county to county. All in all, what I tell people is that once you add those up, you can get an expungement for anywhere, and I'm just ranging here from $1,000 to $1,200 to quite possibly as high as $7,000, $7,500. If you add up those costs and all those particular factors that may vary those costs. Either way, the bottom line is that when you're doing expungements, they are not cheap in the state of Oklahoma. Typically, you are spending thousands of dollars to get your record expunged. So then the next question that people ask me is that, well, Lorenzo, how long does an expungement take? Now, under Oklahoma law, I am able to file a petition for expungement, set it for hearing, and I have to give everybody notice and give them at least 30 days notice. So I always tell people that at the very minimum, you're going to have to wait 30 days from the date of filing. However, and people always say, well, Lorenzo, well, that means I can get an expungement in 30 days, right? Well, yeah, it's possible. Is it likely? Probably not. Right? Because you have to take other things into account, such as there's a judge that you have to put that expungement in front of, and that judge has a calendar, and that judge will tell you when that judge is available to hear your case, right? It may be much longer than that 30 days that is required by statute. So it might be a judge may say, I need it in 45 days. Sorry, Lorenzo, that's as early as I can do it. 60, 90 days. It all depends on the judge. All in all, there's no hard and fast rule as to how long these take. Lots of different moving parts that determines how long an expungement will take. However, what I tell people is that a good kind of average of the time is about 60 days. But don't hold me to that. How long your expungement takes, it depends on a number of different factors, but certainly an average of about 60. So here's the big one. Lorenzo, how do I know that I qualify for an expungement? Now, there are over 15 enumerated reasons that one can qualify for an expungement in the state of Oklahoma. And the only way to know that you truly qualify for an expungement in this state is you have to sit down with a licensed attorney and go through your case in intricate detail to make sure that you fit in one of these criterion, or maybe even more than one, but at least one. All right. Over 15 reasons as to how you can qualify for an expungement in the state of Oklahoma. But no matter which one of them you fall under, all of them have three distinct foundational requirements that you're going to have if, in fact, you want to get that expungement. First of all, your case is going to have been completed. The time period. You cannot get an expungement if your case is still open or if you're currently on probation. If you got a 4-year sentence and only 3 of the years of your 4 years has passed, you can't get an expungement. The time period that you were sentenced to must have gone to completion. It must have lapsed in its entirety. The second thing is that you're going to have paid off all your court costs, fines, and fees, right? How many people come to me and say, Lorenzo, hey, this case is 20 years old. I'm ready to get my case expunged. But if you have some outstanding fines that you were supposed to pay, some fees that you were supposed to pay, some court costs that you were supposed to pay, you're not going to be able to get a judge or anybody else to sign off on you getting an expungement. Part of you getting an expungement means that your entire case was completed. Like your case is completed when you pay off all your court costs, fines, and fees. The last thing is probably the most important one, is that you are only eligible for an expungement if you have been charged with a misdemeanor or a nonviolent felony. A misdemeanor or a nonviolent felony, because in general, violent felonies are not eligible for expungement in the state of Oklahoma. And typically you can get around that by getting a pardon. I remember that. Remember I said it was over 15 reasons to get an expungement in the state of Oklahoma. That's one of them. You can get a pardon. And that is one of the reasons how you can get an expungement. But if you have a violent felony, typically you're going to have to get a pardon so you can be eligible for said expungement. These three things are the foundation and lets you know on your own automatically before you even go into a lawyer's office, before you call the Urban League, you'll know on your own as to how or whether or not you at least meet the foundations of whether or not you qualify for an expungement. So with that being said, I'm going to do the very thing that lawyers tend to not do, is I'm going to be quiet. And I'm going to say thank you to everyone who is watching this presentation. And I'm going to welcome you to come and see us on Saturday, June 24th, 2023 at Metro Tech for another Expungement Expo put on by the Urban League of the Greater Oklahoma City area. Now, what I do have to tell you this is that if you have, in fact, filled out your expungement packet, right? You're excited. You are ready to get down to the Urban League and turn in your expungement packet because you're ready to go. You're raring to get this thing going. Thank you for that. Thank you for your enthusiasm, but please don't bring those into the Urban League. Why, you ask, Lorenzo? Because we are only accepting expungement packets that are completed. Remember, they got to be completed. We are accepting completed expungement packets at the Expungement Expo itself. So if you've got your packet, fantastic. Did you fill it out? Fantastic. But bring that completed packet to the Expungement Expo, Saturday, June 24th, 2023 at Metro Tech between 9 and 2 p.m. Thank you all so much for listening. Come down and see us at the Expungement Expo and come out and see what we're doing for the state of Oklahoma.